In the ninth grade, I had this one science teacher, and for the sake of the video, we'll call her Miss S. Miss S was your average teacher that favored kids more than others, and unluckily, I was one of the kids that she didn't favor. Now, my ninth grade year with her went pretty smooth. I mean, I passed her classes, I was a good kid, I didn't do anything too stupid. As a teacher, I guess you could say Miss S is actually a pretty good teacher. I learned pretty well in her class. I mean, it wasn't the best, but it's better than most teachers could have done. But as a human being, she was probably like one of the worst human beings you could think of. I mean, there was this one time where we were gonna go to this trip for Six Flags. She was a physics teacher, so it only made sense that we went to go see roller coasters because, well, that's physics right there. So when I paid for the trip, she gave me this receipt to hold on to, and there were a bunch of kids in the class that saw me pay when I paid, and so like when the trip comes around, she does a check in my class to see who paid, and she didn't call my name. So I raised my hand, I was like, hey Miss S, I didn't hear my name called. And she's like, that's because you didn't pay. And I was like, what are you talking about? I came, one bright morning and I paid. And she's like, well, if you paid, I would have had you here. And so I'm like, okay, I think I have the receipt, let me just find it. Because the receipt was like a little fucking paper that just had your name on it and her signature. I mean, it is so easy to lose it. So I'm looking through my entire fucking bag and I emptied everything. I looked through everything and I couldn't find it. Honestly, it's not like I lie about paying it. The trip was only $20, but I paid the trip and it sucked so bad that she didn't believe me, because generally I was a really good kid, like I said. So I just felt like shit for like an entire month because she wouldn't believe me. Eventually I got to go on the trip. I guess she found like an extra 20 in there or some shit. Like, seriously, it was so fucking childish of her. When other kids came up to her and they were like, hey, I saw regret pay, she was like, no, I didn't see it, so it doesn't matter if you saw it, you might just be lying to me. So I was like, wow. But generally that's the type of teacher she was, and she didn't only do this to me. There was a few kids that paid and like didn't keep their receipt, and so there's a bunch of kids that lost the paper, and she basically just kicked them off the trip until the principal told her that this has happened to a bunch of kids and they have no choice but to put us on the trip. Eventually I was ready to pay again, but it's whatever. But come my 10th grade year, I was so happy to be done with her because she was only a 9th grade teacher, and for me it was just like, now I finally moved on from her and it was completely fine with me. And so I was like fine with her because whatever she did, it was such a fucking bitch move, but I just never bought it up. It was whatever to me. So one day I'm just passing by the hallway and I see like a bunch of kids grouped up together and they're just talking about something, right? And they're talking on the low, so they're like whispering to each other. And so I walk by and I'm like, yo, what happened? And they're like, Miss S got fired. And I'm like, what? And so I'm like, what happened? And they're like, she fucking punched a kid in the face. And I was like, what the fuck? There's no fucking way. Now, a rush of excitement went through me, but if you know the background to Miss S, she's like a really young teacher that had a kid when she was like 16 years fucking old. So she struggled her entire life to get to where she was. And it was like her second year of teaching, and I was her first year. So, I mean, I felt really bad at a certain degree, but at the same time, the shit that she pulled off with a bunch of people, and it wasn't just the field trip, it was so many other things that she pulled off with a bunch of other kids. It was like she had it coming. So a rush of excitement went through me and I was like, oh fuck, this is great. Other people don't have to deal with her now. And trust me, it's not just me shit talking her. There's a lot of fucking people that were happy as fuck when she got fired. But generally, she took it to a whole new level. I mean, you fucking punch a kid in the face. Now, I try to figure out who it was that got punched in the face, but whenever I went to the class that witnessed it, no one would fucking talk. It was like they were traumatized after seeing what they saw. And whoever the kid was, I mean, our school isn't that big, but there was no way I could find the one kid that got punched in the fucking face. And I think he was told not to talk about it because she was already fired and she had her license revoked. So it just got to a point where it was like, holy fuck, what the fuck did she do to this kid that legit got her license revoked and no one will talk? And I mean, no one will talk. All the 10th graders, like, at the time, they were like buzzing about it and everything. No teachers would say anything. No students that witnessed it said anything. No 9th graders said anything. But eventually it turned out that we got a new physics teacher in the building. But eventually, you know, he just replaced her and that was whatever. To this day, I have no idea what the kid did to her and why she punched him in the face. But, I mean, these are things that I heard, and, I mean, she was fired, like, on the spot. After that period where she punched the kid, she was never to be seen again, and no teachers ever heard from her. The principal never said anything about it. She just got replaced over time. And so I think that that whole sequence was like something that she had coming. I mean, like I said, she was a great teacher as a whole, but how do you be a teacher and at the same time you favor kids over others, and the kids that you don't favor, you put them through hell? You put them through a year of hell. And trust me, there's a lot of teachers that do this, but I'm kind of happy to know that she's not going to be one of them anymore. But yeah, she really had it coming, and you know, that's all I can fucking say. And hey, Miss S, if you're watching this fucking video, fuck you. Anyways, guys, I really hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please show some love to the channel and some love to the video. Thank you guys for watching. Peace.